Now it's time for a little thing we like to call The World's Gone Mad. Yes, you're watching The World According to Rowan Dean, and what a mad and crazy world it is. Remember the bad old days when protest marches were so boring and unimaginative and looked a little like this?
Although the main speakers have not spoken yet, Hobson said that we are here not only to stop...
Oh, how dull. Never fear. Fueled by bouts of chronic and incurable TDS, Trump Derangement Syndrome, today's street protests have become far more entertaining and indeed more creative, like this. Ah, yes, the old crawling Donald Trump. Well, how about this work of art, an absolute masterpiece?
I designed it, I do my own makeup, everything.
I have no words. This is absolutely, it's so very talented. Yeah.
Michelangelo, eat your heart out. That's what I call high art. Of course, what any decent protest movement needs is a catchy slogan, right? Stop the war, ban the bomb, that sort of thing. Or how about kakistocracy?
Can you explain a little bit for our viewers what this means?
Go ahead.
Raise your hand out.
Kakistocracy.
Perhaps it needs something a bit catchier, I don't know, like how about all people are children of the earth? That's good.
Go out of your way.
All people are children of the earth.
Yeah, all people are children of the earth. Can you disagree with that?
He's got a point, can't argue with that, I guess, but if we're talking high art, nothing quite says incurable TDS like bastardizing American Pie.
Long, long time ago, I can still remember how the US used to make me smile. But now it feels we've changed our stance since they elected Trump and Vance.
Ah, yes, Trump and Vance, but what about Elon Musk?
Went down from dawn to dusk as he appointed Elon Musk. Democracy became a husk the day the U.S. died.
Ah, yes, the day the music died indeed. Actually, I think Don McLean was always a bit premature with his prediction. I think this is the day the music died. Not sure he or she's quite got the hang of bar chords yet. Or if you're a total weirdo with paranoid psychotic TDS, you could always wish for the day the Donald died.
Tell us what you mean by this.
Well, I mean that it won't fix all the problems, but it sure is a great start. That Liberation Day should not be connected to what he has done. That is not liberation.
Charming. Mind you, that woman is a model of understatement compared to this bloke.
Stand up and say it, fascists. Stand up and say it. I'm standing up and saying what I believe. You stand up and say what you believe, and not platitudes, and not idolatry. Let's hear ideas. You have no ideas. All you have is hate, racism, stupidity, and greed.
All you have is hate, rage, idolatry. Ah, dear. Still, if you look hard enough, there are always plenty of sane, normal, everyday Americans at these demonstrations, such as this individual.
Hey friends, I just passed the Dunkin' Donuts, which is the most vague possible location I could possibly give you in Massachusetts. But besides being near a Dunkin' Donuts, which places me somewhere in Massachusetts, I mentioned I'm at the Hands Off Boston March, and it is the slowest march I have ever been in, and I could not be more happy about that, because that means that the streets between the park and City Hall are entirely filled with people.
Entirely entirely filled with these people. Which people, though? There is one key demographic missing from all these anti-Trump protests compared to those famous demonstrations of the 1960s. Have you noticed which demographic it is? This young girl certainly has.
This is what we get. We get a crowd of 30-somethings and their children and seniors and barely any teenagers. Barely any teenagers ever. Like, these, oh my God. I can't even. Like, where are you going if you're not going to the protest right now?
Good question. Barely any teenagers. Where are they? Perhaps they're at home enjoying their teenage years and doing lots of fun things that teenagers do, rather than wandering the streets with a bunch of psychotic, demented TDS suffering lunatics. Or maybe, heaven forbid, they actually support Donald Trump and even wear a MAGA hat to school to show that support.
Take the hat off in my classroom and I'm not going to say it again.
So mine has distracted you from teaching the lesson?
Okay. Take the hat off. I asked you nicely. Now I'm going to act.
Nice teacher. Other young people are more focused on making their fortune to have time for frivolous protests, like this lass.
It's $1 million. One, just one, is all I'm asking for. You guys are asking like I don't even know what to say. I just want $1 million. Just one.
Just $1 million? It's not a lot to ask for, is it? I agree with her. Yes, the entitled welfare generation. Perhaps someone could suggest a new slogan to that young lady, like, get a job?
Well, every morning about this time she gets me out of my bed to cry and get a job.
And of course, there are all those other girls who genuinely have something to protest about, like protesting to their school board that they've been replaced on their all-girls sports team by a boy.
Since the start of the season in August, I ran in every varsity race. In late October, the male transfer student was given my spot after not being held to the same strict team requirements as me and the rest of the girls.
That's right, thanks to leftist insanity in the Biden years, that poor young girl was denied a place on her sports team because it was given to a boy who claims to be a girl. No wonder many kids support Donald Trump. Here's another girl, a young fencer, who simply gave up when confronted with a biological male. That brave young girl was immediately disqualified and expelled from the tournament because she refused to compete against a biological man. There is one rather novel way, however, to solve this problem. Like in Britain this week, where in a women's snooker tournament, both the competitors were biological men. Eureka! Solve the problem. Make all women men. Hey, problem solved. Honestly, where's Jermaine Greer when you need her? Still, it's never plain sailing in these modern days of gender confusion.
I can't pee in 4% of America right now, so...
You can't pee in 4% of America.
In 4% of America, it is illegal for me to use the men's restroom in government buildings.
But even that pales into insignificance when it comes to how you should hold a margarita.
All right. We outside, we in the pool, I got me my little margarita or whatever.
Still, I always say, if you're even slightly confused about your gender, adopt a slogan like never give up.
Don't give up, not yet. Be hopeful, be happy. There's still tomorrow, don't give up. Never give up, no, no, no. I won't give up, no, no, no.
Oh, no, never give up. And speaking of never giving up, this week was the anniversary of one keffiyeh-garbed protester who had no choice but to give up.
You're hurting me!
Just go lift me!
You're hurting me! Ow! 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 Help! Help!
Meanwhile, in the UK, a nurse was suspended for misgendering a transgender pedophile, according to the Daily Mail, by referring to him as Mr. That pedophile, by the way, had repeatedly called the nurse the N-word. All she did was call him Mr., but she was the one who got punished. What a dystopian absurdity the United Kingdom has become. As the nurse Jennifer Mellé told the Daily Mail, I am expected to tolerate racism, deny biological reality, and suppress my deeply held Christian beliefs. End of quote. In modern Britain, yes, it appears you most certainly are. No wonder the Brits are confused.
But transgender women are male, aren't they?
No, transgender women are women.
So if transgender women are women, why are they trans?
Transgender women are women.
If they're women, why are they trans? What makes transgender women?
The fact they are transgender.
And what does trans mean when it comes before the word woman?
Such a tricky question there. No wonder she was struggling. Meanwhile, over in America, a young lass answered her own question about white privilege.
Why don't you believe that white privilege exists? I just want to get your understanding first, and then we could go from there.
Well, let's just, is there anything that you can't do that I can do?
No, we could do the same things if we put our minds to it.
Good. Then there's no white privilege.
No white privilege. Simple as that. You almost have to laugh. Almost as funny as this AI Trump gag.
In this executive order, every single protester shall get a mandatory shower. Also, their new pronouns will now be re and
Can almost have been real. Yes, there's plenty of material for comedians these days. Here's two comics, I love this, holding an imaginary conversation between Robert Kennedy Jr., he of the croaky throat, and Elon Musk.
Really wonderful to have be out here with you today, Elon, and have an opportunity to talk with you.
It's true. It's obviously. RFK, maybe it's okay if I call me up. LOL. I mean, it's like.
That's hilarious. And not to be outdone, here's a victim of Elon's Department of Government Efficiency government cuts.
Because of Trump, I just lost my job. Yeah. In fact, my entire department just lost their jobs. I was one of the head research analysts in charge of discovering how much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood.
Brilliant, and probably more than half true. Yes, it really is a mad and crazy world.